Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans Podcast, a podcast from a bunch of yids to all the yids around the world. Feels like a long time since we've been doing this. Them international breaks can really fucking drag. But yeah, I'm here tonight with joined by Matty Kerr. Lee was at the game today, so no doubt. Well, last heard he was in the Gilpin Bell, getting pissed up and having a few rows with some Spurs fans. And TJ's been away somewhere today and he's away with the missus, so he ain't made it back. So it's just me and Matty Kerr tonight. How you doing, Matt? First of all, mate, everything good?
All good, Dennis. All good, mate. Cheers for full naming me and that, mate. I love it.
No worries, mate. No worries.
You know what, T? Kev, go back to that, right? So I remember we was in that pub in Hartford once, and TJ was like something about Matty Kerr, and I was like, "Why'd you call me Matty Kerr?" And he goes, "Matt, everyone calls you Matty Kerr. Don't you know that?" And I said, "No, I thought people just call me Matty." He goes, "No, everyone calls you Matty Kerr."
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because we don't have a lot of Matties in our circle. I don't know if we have any other Matties, but you get called Matty Kerr, and not just Matty. Like no one would know who you are, but just by the word Matty. But yeah, I think it's Matty Kerr. Just when people go, "Yeah, Matty," and they go, "You go Matty Kerr," oh, fucking Matty Kerr. Everyone knows Matty Kerr. So yeah, so I'll always call you Matty Kerr. Obviously, I'll call you a lot of names, to be honest. But we'll keep it sweet, and I'll leave it with Matty Kerr tonight. But yeah, so everything all right, Matt? I know you've been having a bit of the old struggles with the knee. As the knee situation, are you on crutches, out of crutches? You got a cast on there? Are you down back at the games? How's the situation with the old peg?
Back plan part of the side, mate. Back plan.
Bicycle kicks and all sorts, yeah?
Mate, no, I'm still on crutches. Hopefully, I've got hospital tomorrow, so we'll see what happens then. No, I ain't got a cast, mate. It's just a massive knee brace, mate. Like rocking around like Stone Cold Steve Austin, mate. Just remember him and then running down with a knee brace and that, and then you got it's mixed between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Forrest Gump. It's knee brace. That's what it's kind of like.
You've always ran like Forrest Gump, to be fair. Hey, listen, Matt. Let's talk about it. Let's get straight into the football side of it. Listen, we're going to talk about a few things tonight, and obviously we want to cover Chelsea the other night and what we thought about obviously the game, gaffer reactions, how the fans felt after. Obviously we'll get on to today's game, which we've obviously we won 3-1 and got the 3 points, and with the protest as well, which was out there again today. And looks like it sort of picked up where it left off from the last time it done it, and was making massive points. And also we're obviously going to talk about Frankfurt at home, which is no doubt the biggest game of the season so far for obviously us as supporters in the club, but obviously most of all for Ange Postecoglou, who's really in the fucking firing line at the minute. And I think the people that want him out are really waiting for him to trip up, and thought he might have tripped up today, and then he might have gone tonight, and you might have had someone else in, whether that was Ryan Mason or someone else to come in and have it for these two important Europa League games coming up against Frankfurt. I don't know, but yeah, listen, Matt, let's just get right into it, because I've got some opinions about the Chelsea game, and listen, we'll start with yours. I don't know about you, Matt, but it was a game where I think every sort of league game at the moment we're kind of dreading to watch. And I remember this bit like when Conte was there at the point where before Conte was going, it was just a bit nothingy down there, and we kind of took our eye off and going a bit. Wasn't excited to go. We were selling our tickets a lot because we were sort of fed up with the toxicity down there. People moaning about everything, and it just becomes a bit of a cauldron of hate down there. And I don't like taking my kid down there, and I certainly don't like being down there within all that. So, I mean, there's been a lot going on, Matt. But listen, let's just start with the Chelsea. A game for you, Matt, that you thought we had a chance of getting anything out of, or was it a game for you that we didn't play as bad, or you thought we played good, or we didn't turn up at all? What was your sort of take on Chelsea?
For the game, mate, I didn't predict anything really, mate. Do you know what? It didn't feel like a Tottenham Chelsea derby to me. I'm so done with the Premier League. But even the build up to the game, even in the day, it's like, yeah, Spurs are playing tonight. Do you know what I mean? So of course I watch it. I didn't think we'd get anything from the game before the game. And then as the game went on, first half we could have been 3 or 4 nil down. I thought second half we were better, but not much better. But I think we were better than Chelsea second half. Do you know what I mean? But first half, Chelsea could have punished us. But look, I think what it takes is, you're not going to kind of get anything at Chelsea away. But it's the hope that kills you. So you're just praying that team turns up and gives you a performance and some pride, And I think we kind of left just empty again. And it's what, Kev, do you know what? Like, you're talking about going Spurs now. Lucky enough, I've not been down there, mate, because you know how positive I am as a Spurs fan. So I always try and see the positives. Yeah, I can see the negatives as well, but I can see a positive as well. And at the moment, I can't really see a positive. And I would hate to sit there and listen to everyone just slating that team constantly. You see in some of the WhatsApp groups we're in, I can't deal with it. I have to just take myself out of it until it all calms down, and then I'll come back in. Do you know what I mean? Because we do have such a reactionary fan base where you win, it all kind of goes quiet, and then as soon as you lose, and Jack, get him out, it's crap, you ain't got a clue. And then if we go and beat Frankfurt, we beat Southampton, we go and beat Frankfurt and whatnot, then it all kind of goes quiet. But I hate the toxic side of things when it comes to Spurs,
Yeah. I think you definitely bang on with the hope. I mean, we was two people that went up to Liverpool for the second leg, and we felt like going up there was a bit of hope. And as soon as the game starts, you sort of realise where you are, and you wonder why you get so pissed off, because you kind of expect it, but you still have that hope as well. And I think you have that hope because for how much you love the club and how much you want to do well. And a bit like what you're saying there, you're going into stands in the ground or wherever you are, home or away, and hearing the person next to you completely cunt the team off that you love. And even though they might be right, you still don't want to hear it. And that's my problem with it. And I mean, we've got a lot of social circles with a lot of mates, and I've got a lot of WhatsApp groups who I respect people's opinions in there, but sometimes I've got to mute them because they're kind of telling me things I know, but I'm also thinking, are you really surprised? And for the Chelsea game, I think that was it. I think it was the hope of maybe we might get something, because Chelsea weren't really playing well at that point as well before the international break. So we've had a few weeks off. We've had time to reset, get people back. Was there a chance that we might get something? Me personally, I didn't think we'd get anything. That was the reason why I give my ticket up in the week. I just thought it'd be a waste of a journey, and really all eyes are now on the European side of it. But I can understand why people went, because it's Chelsea, and you just hope that maybe Spurs can turn up and treat it like a bit like a derby. Maybe a little scuffle in there. It was the only point I thought that it felt like a derby. But yeah, it didn't really have that preparation of a derby. And that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to go, because I don't want to go into an empty derby. I want to go in there when it really means something. But I don't know about you, Matt, but I mean, I watched that game, and I'm not saying I didn't think we played bad, but I was expecting an absolute fucking drubbing. And I thought we played okay, like you said, in moments in that second half. And I kind of just expected what it was going to be. The way we lost, all right, yeah, we was unlucky with the foul with the Sarr goal, but we kind of, like you said, never really deserved to get anything out of it overall. But before that game, I'm thinking this could be a 3 or 4-0, and where it was only 1-0, and I said this on an Instagram post before, where I said I don't mind us if we lose. We are going to lose, but I just wanted us to stay in the game for the whole match if we could, and that for me would have been a positive on the kind of shit that we've seen in recent weeks. So when we come away from when that final whistle went, I was just okay. I was more relieved that we just didn't get fucking pumped 6-0. But obviously, there's people in the stadium who are completely fucked off, and there's a big picture going around of a bald guy giving Sarr some shit, and the players, and that's a mate of ours as well, by the way. So evening, Brian, because I know you listen, and he's had a lot of fun on the socials, I think, over that. And but what I can understand with Brian is that he's a supporter like us who goes there with the fucking hope. He's been through the fucking ringer all these years, as much as we have, but you love the club so much that you just want them to change for a game. You just want them to be up for a game. And I don't know if we was that up for it in an attacking sense, which was the reason why we didn't really create many chances. But I think it's that, Matt. It's the hope of going. and the frustration. But I'm sure when he woke up in the morning, he probably thought, you know what, it could have been a lot worse. And, you know, the scoreline suggests it was tighter than it was. Probably wasn't, but a 1-0 for me looks better than a fucking 7-0 or a 6-0 against Chelsea. So I don't know, man. I don't know about you, but I didn't think we played that bad in what I expected us to play like. Do you agree with that or not?
Yeah, I agree, Kev, because at full time I was kind of like, just it is what it is. Like I felt like Sonny could have equalised right at death. Do you know what I mean? Mate, normally, if Tottenham lose to Chelsea, I'm raging, I'm fuming. But this time round, I was just like, it is what it is, and I'm kind of done with the league, Kev. I am like, even today, if we'd have gone and lost to Southampton, well, I don't know actually. I could say this because it's Southampton, but I'd have been fuming. Do you know what I mean? Because it's Southampton. But Chelsea, I just kind of expected us to lose anyway. So I didn't think nothing of it. And I'm kind of just done with the league, you know. But, mate, no one wants to lose to Chelsea. We never want to lose to Chelsea. But it did not feel like a Spurs-Chelsea derby. And it just felt like just another game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole league situation is kind of left any game we play now in domestically in the league, where it's Palace, Brighton, Wolves, or whatever it is just going to be a bit of a nothing game. You know, there's no European qualification through the league anymore. There's not a relegation threat anymore, so we're kind of just fucking stuck in that little lump from bottom to the top half, which we ain't going to do nothing. So I think it's just about trying to keep players fit now for forever how long we're in the Europa League. But I just want to go back to the Chelsea game, and I mean, when you mentioned Southampton today, you know, I think if we would have lost today, we might have seen the back of Ange. And we've all agreed in group chats, we know he's having a fucking tough time. But losing him right now for a crunch game against Frankfurt, I personally, in my opinion, don't think it would have been the right time to get rid of them, even if we lost today. But I just want to talk about his reactions in the Chelsea game. And I mean, I'll let you have your take on it first, Matt, of his reactions to the away support. Now we know he cupped his ear, and we know he was quizzed on it after, and he said this excuse of I just wanted to, I put my cup in my hands on my ear just because I wanted them to cheer louder. Now we know that isn't the truth, don't we, Ange? We know what you were saying was, I fucking told you so, because you said I didn't know what I was doing. I've made a sub and he scored. That was what you was doing. So there's this breakdown now between supporters and manager, and you're clearly seeing it. So I'll let you have your opinion on it first, Matt. Where do you stand on Ange biting, whether it's from the dugout to the fans, whether it's on phone cameras down tunnels? Is he doing himself any favours in the situation he's in right now when he's reacting like this towards journalists, to press conferences, to supporters? Is that helping his cause in any way possible?
100%, that's not helping him at all. Especially away from home. You don't attack the away fans, or dig out the away fans. They're the die-hard fans. So you kind of want to keep them on side at all costs. You know, if the home fans, they're just a mixture of fans, ain't they? Like people sell the season tickets and you get the tourist attractions or whatever. But away fans, it's the same faces every single way. So you don't want to pee them off. Him cupping his hand, he's put up with a lot of stick. I think he's getting a lot of pressure at the moment. The media are trying to reel him in. We don't know what things are like behind the scenes. But I don't know. I think he's just had it hard this year, Ange, hasn't he? He's had it hard with the injuries and that, and the press just constantly on him. He's clashed with a couple of fans. I think it was Fulham a couple of weeks ago. He clashed with fans on the way back down the tunnel. So look, I think we all kind of know if it's Europa League or bust for Ange. Yeah, if we win Europa League, he's going to be a genius. Yeah, in our eyes, and then nothing will really matter for the next couple of years, Kev. Like I couldn't care less if Spurs finish 16th for the next 3 years, because you've got that European success, the glory, and you're going to be living off that for a couple of years. But the way things are going, man, I don't know. Ange, I'm with you, Kev. I don't think we'd sack Ange before Europa League. We've come this far. we have to just see it out to the end of the season, no matter what. We ain't going to pay the compensation to sack Ange and pay the compensation to bring in another manager. And also, there's no manager who's going to come in at this time of the season. But I am still Ange in until the end of the season.
Yeah, I think that's where you get we're in the same group chats, mate. So you get a bit of heat for the Ange off the boys and all that because, for me, they're not also seeing the logic side of it of if we sack him now, where do we go in terms of going into these big European games? Because you'll probably get someone that wants to come in and wants to change the style in some way, and you've got to try and adapt that into a few days of a game against a seasoned team in the German league as well. But yeah, I mean, listen, I've been an Ange in thing all season, and the injury thing was massive for me, and I was just like, if he could just get his fucking team together and things could change, and I think we've kind of improved with the players coming back. But he's also, since the players been coming back, he's been playing it safe with a lot of them, not playing them or taking them off after 50 minutes. That Fulham away game was a certain part. So he's kind of got one eye on Europa League now, and he's trying to save everyone from that, and that's going to affect your league performances. But then when he's trying to save players and these players that are stepping in and not doing well enough in league games, and he's not picking up points, the stats come out, the slandering on social media about he's the worst Premier League manager since Ardiles, and no one's had a shittier record than him, and all this sort of stuff. So it's kind of like he can't play his full strength side every single week, and especially while we're in Europe. So I kind of have a bit of sympathy for him still. But in terms of having a pop at your fans, I mean, that's when you really lose them. And like you said, Matt, your away support is your best support. It follows you fucking everywhere, fucking and all up and down the country, abroad. I mean, some of these people go on the fucking pre-season tours and go and spend the money to go in Hong Kong for a fucking week just to follow the club. And it's like, you can't have a pop at them and they're allowed their opinions. And for me, they was quite right to have an opinion on that them two substitutions as well, because I thought we took off our two best players that game. So tactically, sometimes I do wonder what he's doing. And, he'll have all his players back for this crunch European game. And however we play, he's really going to sort of define his future at Spurs. Now, I don't know how long he's got in his contract. He can't have long, can he? He's on a 3-year contract.
He's got one more year, isn't he? I think he's got one more year. But Kev, as you're saying this, mate, Bright is on Instagram and he's saying, yes, Kev, I've said nothing really all season, but I finally lost it at full time at Chelsea. Just a complete lack of fight and passion. So Bright is in the building.
See, this is what I mean. This is an away supporter who's fucking everywhere and spends his hard-earned money. And especially in derbies, he's probably a bit like me. He's probably gone to Chelsea away so many times and seen us lose. And this ain't a great Chelsea side at the moment, really. They're a young side. They're still learning. So, there was a big chance that we could have done something. But with the way the club is at the moment, it's very, very difficult to get going. And with players coming back and European games on the horizon, it's fucking difficult to get them all up for that Chelsea game, because this Frankfurt game on Thursday is going to be a whole different vibe. It's going to be, it's going to be atmospheric. It's going to be loud. The fucking lights will be going off. The South Stand will be fucking in tune. So I think they're the kind of atmospheres that Brian's talking about that he probably wanted at Stamford Bridge, or that he wanted the players to react from, and he weren't going to get that because of the situation at the moment with basically the league games are dead rubbers. But in your derbies, you expect them to turn up, and Brian, just like me, would go to Chelsea away and think, well, maybe they can show a bit of fucking fight and bottle. And when they don't, you end up fucking losing your head, just like Brian did. And he's now become a fucking famous WhatsApp sticker as well. He's fucking everywhere. He's probably in fucking thousands of group chats all up and down, fucking all around London and in the fucking Midlands. He's probably everywhere. But listen, he won't get any stick from me on here or any of our circle, because we're all in the same boat. And we expect so much, and we pay a lot of money, and that's why we act the way we do sometimes, and we get fucking frustrated. And that sort of takes me on to today, really, with the protest. And it's that thing now. It's the Chelsea game. 1 minute we're cutting Levy, then we're going to the manager, then we're going to the players. I think we're just all at a bit of a thing at the moment. We don't know who to blame, but there is
100%.
There is a group out there at the moment that are still knocking on the doors of the board and saying that we don't want you anymore. We want change for the club, and that's the change for Spurs boys. And we was lucky enough to have one on here a few weeks back. And obviously we wasn't down there today. I know Lee was, and I know Cav was, who does our Twitter, and they said that it was it was the biggest atmosphere that they heard today was actually the change for Spurs stuff. Because the one in the ground was absolutely flat as a fucking pancake, as you can imagine. So I don't know about you, Matt. I mean, I've only seen it on Facebooks and all that, and it looks like it's another big protest. It's another eye opener for Daniel Levy to, he come out last week and defended himself and saying we couldn't buy anymore. We do spend, our net spends this, but we have to be smart and do this. But when you have a season like we're having and managers are getting blamed, and Levy still sits in his seat and will probably employ another manager, and if he doesn't back him, he'll go, and it's that vicious circle, that merry-go-round. But what did you think of it, Matt? I mean, what have you seen on the change for Spurs stuff today? You might have been, I haven't been on much social stakes. I've been out with the family a lot, so I haven't seen much of it. I don't know if you've seen a lot, but what have you made of it all again today? And are you happy that they're back out there, Matt?
It's growing, isn't it, Kev? It's growing and growing, man. So we spoke about a couple of weeks ago about our previous protest outside, and we thought actually that's the biggest I've seen it, and this one was probably double that. Now there was quite a few thousand out on Tottenham High Road. I can only go by the videos what I've seen, but there looked like a hell of a lot of people, and people have had enough, mate. People are sick and tired of what's gone on the season we've had. People are sick and tired of it, and I don't blame them, Kev, because there does. I'm at here a situation, Kev, where I don't know. Like, if Levy goes, like, is the grass greener? We're at this thing where I have no idea where we're going to go. There definitely needs to be change, but I don't know what change. But the protest out there now is massive, and it's heating up weekly. And Daniel Levy has to make a decision what he's going to do. If he's going to invest in us properly and stop thinking about the financial side of running a business. Like, I think there was a song like "Can Beyonce Play Up Front Today?" Do you know what I mean?
I actually like that one. That's pretty good. I like that one.
And do you know what though? Because Levy's probably before looked at his window, see about 10 people protesting with a couple of banners, and thought, "Yeah, mate, go away." Now he's looking at and he's seeing thousands. He's thinking, shit's just got real. I can't use the stadium as an excuse no more. Like, we've just moved into the stadium. I can't use COVID as an excuse. Do you know what I mean? So he's going to have to come out with something different. Otherwise, it's going to keep mounting up.
Yeah, I think his response last week was quite short and direct. He's not one really that puts out big statements when he's under fire. But I think what was impressive about this protest is there was a lot of what's the word? There was a lot of build up for the one against Man United. Was Man United, wasn't it? It was a Man United game, and it was everywhere on social media, and you couldn't get enough of it. You knew it was going to happen. And do you know what? I didn't really know this one was happening. I don't know, it's because I haven't seen as much on the socials, or I've just missed it. But I didn't feel like there was a big build up to this one. So, and when I found out it was today, I thought, do you know what? I haven't heard nothing about it. I wonder if it's going to be flat, if it's going to be dead. And that Man United thing was a bit of a flash in the pan, but it wasn't, clearly. I mean, what I've seen and what you've seen, you've probably seen it in a higher vantage point than me. And if you're saying it was more than double than of the last one, then I think that shows you where they are as a group. People are obviously following them on their socials and are sticking with them and want to know when they're doing it to form a massive protest and sort of ring Daniel Levy's ears and to say, like, we want change. I mean, I speak to a lot of people who are within the club, and I mean, you hear so many rumours about so many things, but there is a big talk of a takeover this summer, and we are kind of just sitting on that with Levy. We've had the argument before, do we want Daniel Levy to leave the club permanently? We definitely want him to leave the football side of it. Well, I do. If he is in charge of revenue on the business side of it, I'm all right with that. But yeah, like you said, there needs to be change in the football side of it, wherever you're going to hire the best scouts and the best directors of football. He needs to put that heat on someone else's shoulders, and him just think about getting the money in for concerts and the business side of it. But I think that needs to happen still. I still don't think, when you say about grass greener on the other side, I mean, I've probably been waiting 20 odd years to see if the grass is greener, and we don't know if it is. We've never jumped that fence in 20 years, and I think it can't get any more toxic than it is, and especially with the season we've had, it's just like, it's the club ethos of signing a certain way hasn't really got us anywhere in 20 odd years in terms of being ambitious for trophies. So something really has to give.
So I'll tell you what it's about as well, right? We know if he sacks Ange, we're going to get the same story. You're going to have to be patient. We're going to have to go through a rebuild. It's going to be painful before it gets better. I don't want to go through that again. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I can't do that no more. I'm sick and tired of a rebuild. The name rebuild, I can't bet dreaming of that word, mate. It kills me. I lose sleepless nights.
Yeah, let me just. There's a lady on our Instagram called Amy, and she's quite vocal in the inbox, and she loves to talk about stuff. And weirdly enough, we was talking about Brian this morning, because I'll put a picture up of Brian on the stories, and she commented on Reddit this morning. And she's a big fan of you, Brian, by the way. She did say that she appreciates the passion, and she loves the passion of you, and she understands why you're so angry and everything else. But she says, I'm not 100% Ange out. She says, I'm all in. That tactically he does balls it up a fair few times, but I'm just not up for the so-called rebuild and start again. And I think that's what people's problems are. It's how many managers do you have to go through to have a rebuild? Sometimes I've seen it in previous times with previous clubs. Sometimes a manager can have a bit of a wobbly season, but if they're back to the next season, it can change just like that. And that'd be down to if the club and the supporters and everyone else wants to trust Levy in that, or wants to trust Ange in that. Only time will tell. But yeah, this word rebuild, it's like it will only happen if you stick to your guns sometimes, and the club find an identity of playing, but maybe just needs better players to play in the way he wants to play, and things might change. I don't know. If he wins Europa League, I'm sure he'll still be judged on his first 10 games next season. And we'll see what sort of summer we have. For me, we do have to get rid of a lot. There are some players in there that are stale, and we need. I know it's not in the club's ethos to do, but we need seasoned, good, experienced players to push us on, and they're going to have to change that. And if he wants to change that, Levy, he might get a few fans on side, but if it carries on the way it does, I mean, I can see these protests just keep going and going, and maybe it's a change at the top we need. Maybe not the manager. I don't know. Everyone's got a different opinion on it, but yeah. Listen, today's game. I'll just get onto it now, Matt. I mean, I wasn't there. You wasn't there. Did you watch it on the telly?
Yeah, mate. I watched it on the TV. Again, it was one of them things where I weren't racing home to actually think, Spurs on. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm going to watch that.
Definitely not racing home on your fucking leg, anyway. Fucking up it home.
No, but Kev, you know what it's like when Spurs are doing, when you've got the buzz, no matter where you are, you'll find you could be away with the missus somewhere for a weekend, and you'll find a local boozer mate to go and watch Spurs for 2 hours, mate. You don't give a crap what your relationship.
Let me tell you this: my missus would never book a holiday during the football season. She's a good one. That will never ever clash. I don't know how that feels if anyone's partners do that, but my missus is a good one, and that will never happen. But anyway, go on, Matt. Sorry.
No, but you know what it's like, Kev. Like, you could be anywhere, and if Spurs were playing at 2:00 today against Southampton, you'd be racing somewhere to make sure you're back for that game. Yeah, at the moment, it's kind of like, I'll be home. Do you know what I mean? I'll put it on, but that's how it is at the minute.
Hey,
but Thursday,
it's so
Thursday, Kev, Thursday after training, I'll be bombing it home, mate. I'll be bombing it home to make sure I'm sitting there for that Europa League game.
Yeah, listen, it's so true. I mean, normally my boys, my under 14s play Sunday morning, so it kind of breaks it up. But this morning our game got cancelled, so I was sitting around and we went for breakfast, me and the family, and I come back and I thought I'd do some gardening. And I got so stuck into the gardening that I actually forgot fucking Spurs were playing. Like it just, like you said, it is a dead rubber, and it is quite toxic, and it is quite kind of shit to watch, and we don't want to go at the moment. But it comes to about fucking 3 minutes to 2, and I'm still out there shoveling fucking weeds about. I'm thinking, fucking hell, I've got to get it on my fire stick, yeah. And it was like there was no rush or no thing. It was just like I put the trowel down very slowly, just casually walked in, fucking missed the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game. Normally, I'm plotted up on that sofa and watching at home, 10-2, beer in hand, fucking excited. So I'm totally with you on that. That it wasn't exactly exciting to sit down and watch today. And listen, when the game was on, I mean, I felt like that game today was about fucking 4.5 hours long. It just felt so. I don't know what it was like for the people that are in there today. I know I've heard of a few mates that it was really flat in there today. But watching it on the telly, I was just like, fuck me. Like, how boring does it sound? There's no atmosphere. There's nothing. It was just like, it was quiet. I mean, even when Spurs had some good moments in that first half, I didn't really feel like the crowd got into it because of obviously the way the situation is of the league situation now with the European game coming up. It all just seemed a bit flat. And listen, I didn't think the referee helped in that game today. I thought he blew for every fucking foul every fucking 2 seconds and really slowed the shit game down even more. So, but yeah, Matt, we'll talk about the performances. Like, what did you think of the performance today? Was it a routine win? Was you thinking it could go tits up today, or was you happy with the way we played? Did anyone impress you, mate? Just let us know everything about how you feel about today.
I think it was a routine win, to be fair, mate. I thought to myself today we'd punish Southampton, if I was honest. 3-1 is what it is. But do you know what, though, Kev? Especially first half hour, I know not the atmosphere in that, but I feel like we played on the front foot. We were trying to attack, and every time we went forward, we looked like we were going to create a chance. Where Chelsea last week in the first half, we didn't have a shot on target. But against Southampton, we were knocking on the door, and it was something different. It was positive, you know. You ain't going in at half time thinking this is pathetic. We ain't had a shot on target. But no, mate, I thought first half was good. It's good to see Brennan Johnson back, and this is what I mean, though, Kev. With injuries, that it takes, like, I speak to a couple of Arsenal fans, yeah, and they always say Odegaard hasn't been the same player since his injury, yeah, and it's true because when players come back from a long-term injury or an injury, it takes a while to build that back up, and we've had not just 1 or 2 players that we've had about 7 or 8 of our first team players all going through that, so it is going to take time for players to come back. And I felt like it was good that Brennan Johnson was back because what I found weird with Brennan Johnson today, normally he just stays wide and keeps the pitch big, but he kept coming inside today as well. So it was something different, you know. And I think Maddison, you need that geezer on the ball as much as possible. He makes things happen, even if he's passing side to side. He keeps the ball moving, you know. Solanke, I thought played well. He's just constant, isn't he? But yeah, look, mate, I thought first half I thought we were good. Second half, we've got a couple of comments I'm going to pin up now, Kev, and I don't know if it's that Anne's just told him, don't do nothing stupid now, don't overwork yourself, don't go out there and get a silly injury. Do you know what I mean? Don't just go and see the game out. But Kev, do you know what? I remember speaking to you last year at Wolves, yeah? We was 1-0 up, 90th minute or whatnot, and we'd go and lose 2-1. And we was like, where's the game management? Yeah. And I think if this was any other week during the season, if this was last season and we were 2-0 up at half time and we see the game out 1-3-1 or 2-0, we'd be like, yeah, good game management, take 3 points, we move on. But because of the performances we've been of late, people wanted a really positive performance to move into the Frankfurt game. Yeah. But the most important thing there was that we didn't lose the game or we didn't draw the game, but the second half was disappointing. But I don't know if that was just down to game management, Kev. That just don't do nothing stupid.
Yeah, I thought the second half, I think we just took our foot off the gas. I mean, I played in a game yesterday. I mean, it ain't the fucking level of the Premier League, but I played with a really young football side, and I mean, I think the youngest players, 20. The oldest player apart from me is 22. So they're all youngsters, and we're trying to teach them of experience in games. We kind of play 100 miles per hour all the time, but we've gone 2-0 up yesterday against a decent side, and it was just about seeing the game out. Time wasted on throws, keeping the ball, not being so attacking. And sometimes you need to do that. And I think he did that today. But people expect us to always concede goals. And once my only worry today was about scoring the third. If they score at any point, I then worry that Spurs' legs will go and we become frail. And I'm sure Southampton will have a bit between their teeth. I mean, this is a team really that needed to win today to stay in the Premier League for another week. Even though we know they're down, I mean, they're still gonna fight for their supporters. And when they did get that goal, they kind of had a bit of a go. And you know, people's argument would be, should he have gone out and try and get that third goal? And we never really looked like getting that third goal until they scored, and then maybe we started to put our foot on it. So there's a kind of a bit of a double-edged sword with that, with what you kind of want him to do. I mean, he was never going to keep a clean sheet today. I fucking knew that for a fact. But yeah, maybe it was just the way we conceded. We just scared Spurs a bit in that last 5-10 minutes. It did me, because I thought once they score, can we hold on? Because I know what Spurs are like. But yeah, there was just a massive chunk of that game I thought where we was massively in control, and it was kind of nothing really fucking happening. I think I went out and washed up at one point. It was nothing really going on. So, I mean, people I've spoken to said the second half was really, really hard to sit in there and watch. And I think you're right, Matt. I think he just sucked the life out of the game, Ange, and probably wanted to do that. But yeah, there is that danger of conceding one and then you end up fucking drawing, and then fuck me. When the boo boys are on you already, if you don't go and beat a team that's basically relegated at home, then you're going to get it even more. And you've also got the morale of going into the Frankfurt game. And I know
sorry, mate. Do you think, and where so many people are against the minimum, he's in a no-win situation no matter what? Yeah. People always say he's got no plan B. He goes and gets 3 points today. It's not a positive performance second half, and people are still at him. Do you know what I mean? If we go, I think people are only happy if we go and win every game 5-0 potentially now. You know, like I think that was his only win.
It was never going to happen, Matt. Even when we was playing well, we're never going to beat teams 5-0. Not with the way we attack, especially at home. We're always going to see goals. We've always conceded goals since we've had him. Do you know what I mean? But my thing is, at the moment, is me and TJ disagree with it quite a lot. He sort of says to me, like, oh, fuck the league, I'm done with the league. I understand that, but I still think it's important to keep morale high of going into big games by winning your game before that. Even though I do understand his point that as a supporter going to these games, it is a bit thing, but as a team watching them, I still want them to win. And at the moment, I think there are so many people out there that are so anti-Ange that I think they want us to trip up in games like this today. They sort of want him to lose games and want him out. Where if you don't think he's going to be the right man to take us to the next round of the Europa League and get past Frankfurt, for people that want to change now, they're kind of wanting to lose these games. And some of them might have been glad that we lost against Chelsea because it just puts more pressure on him. I don't know. I mean, we said it a little while ago. I think we're in a better place if we got him for this Frankfurt game, and winning today might. I don't know if it will, because it is going to be a different fucking ball game on Thursday. It's just nice to get players fit, players through, players more minutes, and also go into that game on a little bit of a high of going in after winning against against Southampton and in front of your own fans, but. Yeah, that sort of. Sorry, Matt. I don't know if you wanted to mention any comments regarding Southampton before I move on.
Yeah, no, I think, mate, go with the second half. I do think Ange just kind of went with a plan B and was like, don't do nothing stupid this half. Don't go out there and put massive sprints in, play at high intensity. I do not need no more injuries, yeah? I think the commentator, when I was listening to the commentator, was saying, what's changed second half? The fullbacks ain't even crossing the halfway line. So he just went with a flat back four second half. So he didn't have his, like Jed Spence first half was bombing it to their byline, constant every attack, and it completely changed. So I think Ange did go with a plan B second half. It did smell of shit, like it was crap, but we got the 3 points and we move on. Like, but the thing is though, Kev, is that thing, if he was only gonna get praised or fans off his back today if he went and won 4 or 5-0. That was the only way fans would be happy today. But if
I still don't think that would have been enough, Matt. I think we could have won 10-0 today, and I still think people.
If we go out and play that like that second half, like we did first half, and then Solanke pulls up injured, Brennan Johnson pulls up injured, something like that, people are going to be like, "Well, why has it gone so with a high intensity still, and we're 4-0 up?"
Yeah. No. Listen, I totally understand what you're saying. I mean, like you said, it's a bit of a no-win situation. You can't win. There's always going to be someone. I think the people that I've spoke to that were pretty fucked off with today were people that went. And I think if you're going today, I don't think you want to sit there for 45 minutes, second half, bored out your fucking nut and thinking about going. And I think that's the difference. With me and you watching it on TV, I think we're just okay with it. We're like, well, we'll think about Thursday. But if you've paid £100 to go today and took your kid or whatever it is, I think you're going to want a bit more excitement because it's a day out for you.
Kev, under Conte, we put up with that for a whole season, that type of football. Even worse.
Yeah, I wonder what Brian was like with that with Conte. If he's like that with the Ange style, what the fuck was he like at Conte? If there's another sticker of Brian out there, a game with Conte, please put it out there. We'd love to see it. But yeah, I think you're right, Matt. I think it was a routine win today. And listen, just get this game over with and get your fucking strongest team back. Because I think since Romero's come back, I think we look a bit more solid at the back. Obviously, I thought Mickey had a decent game against Chelsea as well. I think defensively, I think we know our back four now. Nice to see Brennan Johnson coming up with 2 good goals, I thought, today as well. I thought the second one was pure cheekiness. And he's someone I haven't been a fan of in terms, not so much of his goal scoring, but in terms of his other sort of getting involved in certain moments of play. He can be non-existent. So it was nice to see him busy, like you just mentioned, Matt. He was kind of everywhere today. Odebert's a player that I like. You know, I thought he done okay when he come on. And Bergvall puts in a good shift. I mean, I think we're getting there with our strongest team. Whether they are all 100% now and ready to go, I don't know. Because, yeah, like you said, Matt, they've come back from long injuries and it is going to take time to gel. But we have had that big break. So we have had to train. So, you know, we've had a big gap between games as well before Chelsea. So, you know, they've got to be ready for Thursday. And going into Thursday, Matt, Frankfurt at home, biggest game of the season without a shadow of a doubt. You know, this makes or breaks everything. This sort of defines next season's as well, I think, for me, this game, whether we win or, well, the 2 legs, whether we go through or not. I'll be there. You going there, Matt? Or no, you're not going, are you? You're still hobbling about?
Yeah, I'm still on crutches. I've got a ticket, but I'm not going to go. I'll probably sort it out to someone. Bryce said he'll see you at Frankfurt, Kev. Blowsy is saying it's so boring. There's no urgency. Literally watched 20 minutes, and that's only because the sun was in the east stand. But you know what, Kev? We're talking about the atmosphere, right? I'm just going to touch on the atmosphere. Yeah, it is. It's in bits at the moment, yeah. But Thursday won't be. Everyone going Thursday is going to be so pumped and know that it's not going to be like a Southampton atmosphere. Everyone's got to be going like it's like a Champions League night, like our big European nights, you know. And do you know what? I do think that'll happen. You'll probably have a light show before the game. It'll pump everyone up, and everyone will be right up for Thursday, Kev. It won't be like the atmosphere of today. Do you know what I mean? It'll be totally different.
But what I don't want, Matt, is I don't want the light show. I mean, I do want the light show. Well, I don't give a fuck about the light show, if I'm honest. My boy does. He actually likes it. But what I don't want is I want the atmosphere to be great, but I don't want it to turn negative as soon as Frankfurt have a few chances or they put one in the net. And that's my problem for me. It's where there's a lot of disgruntlement around the owner or Ange, especially at the moment. When we go 1 down in games, we used to be a fan base who got behind whoever's in charge, whether it's Ange, Poch, fucking Conte, Mourinho. When we were 1-0 down, we still stayed with them. And this team under Ange really has got character. It won't just give up if we go 1-0 down. But it needs the supporters. It needs people to keep behind the team, whether it's 1-0 or even it's 2-0 or they've hit the bar 3 or 4 times in the first fucking 10 minutes. It can't get negative in there because once it gets negative in there, people may not think of it. It does. It feeds into the players, what's around them. You know, the booing and everything else, the halftime booing. Listen, everyone's got a right for their opinion, but in these games, we really need to be that 12th man, and Frankfurt's going to be one of them. And no doubt them fucking Germans are going to be noisy as fuck in there. And, you know, when you go to some of these European games at home, the fact that sometimes our crowd, the home crowd, is a bit different. It isn't like a league game. You haven't got all you see. You've got kids in there and whatnot. So when you've got a loud away section there, it can get loud in there. So we need to be better than that. We've got 60 or 1,000 in there, and we need to be singing from the same hymn sheet to get this team over the line. And that's my only worry is if we have a dodgy start in the game and it goes flat, and then we just capitulate and it all goes fucking tits up. And then people like me who are going over to Frankfurt in a couple of weeks don't want to be going over there when we're fucking 4-0 down. You know, this is a game for me that we've got to take a 2 or 3-0 goal advantage over there to have any fucking chance. Because this ain't a shit German side either. They're decent. Got decent players. They're up there in the Bundesliga. I've watched them a few times this year and they're quite mustard. So listen, it's a massive game, Matt. And what are your predictions for it, Matt? If you had to go and have a bet now or have a prediction, where do you think this game is going to go? And also, what's your strongest 11 that you play against Frankfurt?
I'm going to go the 11 first. I'm going to go Vicario and goal, Ndogi, Van der Ven, Ramiro, and I'm going to go Poro. I'm going to start Spence on the bench, right? I'm going to go Bentancur and Bergvall, and I'm going to with Maddison, and I'm going to go Sonny on the left, Johnson on the right, Solanke through the middle. And honestly, Kev, I think we're going to
hang on. Let's just talk. Let's just talk about the Poro thing. Why does Poro start over Jed Spence, or why does Spence start over Dogi? Dogi over Spence. Why does not Spence get in that?
We're at home. I think we're at home. We need the balance. That's why I think Ndogi has to play on the left-hand side. I think we need the balance there. But you know what? Actually, I think Spence is better left back at the moment than he is a right back. I don't know. It's hard to call, but I am going to stick with Ndogi left back and Poro. Poro is because we're at home. We need to attack them. Frankfurt are going to come and sit in and try and counter-attack us and make it hard for them to break them down. Away from home, I would then bring in Spence. But at the home tie, I would start Poro.
Yeah, I thought Poro had an half-decent game today. I mean, in fucking hard. You know, he's playing against shit, really. But it was his game today where I thought he looked a bit like the old Poro of old. And, I mean, going forward, he's no doubt a threat, but then so Spence. But yeah, I mean, with them two, I think it is depending on who you play and how you want to set up and basically what your opposition is like going down either side as well. So, yeah, I can understand your thing, but yeah, Jed Spence has done too much for me not to start in these crunch games for me. But yeah, listen, Matt, you play Championship Manager, you win everything. So I'll go with your point on that.
All right, cool, mate. And look, listen, prediction is Tottenham are going to win 2 or 3-0.
That's it, Matt. Positive, Matt. That's what I like to hear.
Now, you know what, Kev? I think even Maddison, when he's talking in his press conference last week after Chelsea, said the fans are disappointed, but stick with us. I think the players know.
Why does he come out and not Son?
Mate, come on. I've questioned Sonny's leadership, like coming over to the away fans crying and that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it don't fucking wash, does it, mate? It don't wash.
It don't, mate. It doesn't. But like even Maddison, when he comes out and talks, like he says, "Look, just stick with us. We know what we've got to do. Yeah, we know what we've got to do." And I think he says that we could make this an incredible season by winning Europa League. And I think all the players have bought into that. Like, we are going for the Europa League. The fans going there on Thursday are all like, we are going for the Europa League. Yeah. So I think everyone who's bought into this, we're going for the Europa League. And everyone's going to be so fired up for it. I do think the squad will turn up and we'll blow them away.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a divide at the moment. I think the players are definitely feeling the heat. I mean, I've seen Sonny do it a few times this year where he's gone and scored or he's gone down near the corner flag and he's had a tackle or something and someone says something to him and he fucking bites back. Obviously the Chelsea game. I think there is a divide between the players and the fans at the moment. And I think that's what Maddison was probably alluding to. He's just like, you know, if you get behind us, we might be able to do something. But some Spurs fans will go, well, we have been behind you all fucking year and you've done nothing. So it's that argument. But yeah, listen, a crunch time like this, like I just said, we are to be that 12th man and it'll help us get through home and away as well. So yeah, I totally agree, Matt. It's I can understand Maddison's thing of trying to bridge everyone together, but it makes me wonder if the players, because I've always questioned recently if the players are still playing for Ange. And is that why the players want to come out and sort of say, you know, get behind us, we can do it? Because if some players weren't really behind Ange, would players like Maddison come out and say it? Because there's been rumours that Maddison and Ange have had a thing going on, but Maddison's always the first one to come out in these interviews, and which the captain, I think it should be the captain that does that. But Maddison comes out and says all the time, you know, we know how shit we've been, we know we're inside. It's no one else's fault. It's our fault. We've got to correct it. We've got to do this, and then. When you say that all the time, and then you have a shitter against Chelsea in your rivals, then you sort of kind of wonder why, you know, the fans are having a pop at you, because you've been saying it for a while now that we need to be with you, and we do follow you everywhere. I mean, every away game we go to, we're sold out. When we go fucking abroad, we're sold out. So we have been there, but yeah, we're just disappointed with some of the performances this year, and you know, there's such a divide in there now. It would take some gluing to get everyone back together for this last push, because there's so many fucking negative different parts of it, whether it's the board, the manager, the players, whoever it is. Certain players not pulling their weight. I mean, there's so much to stick in the pot and wonder what you know, what is so bad about this season so far.
Do you know what, okay? Yeah, sorry, mate. Andrew's been let down, though. Yeah, we've had all these injuries, right? We have, and they're coming back, and it's going to take a while for them all to get back to like match fitness and that. I get that, but he's been let down. Like players like Basuma and stuff like that have completely let him down when he's needed these players the most. Yeah. So like when we've had all these injury players, and you had Basuma stepping in, Papasar, he's another one. He was only going in one direction on the high, and he's like up and down, you know. Like you look at like Timo Werner, like he's only on loan, so you can never fall in love with a loan player. I get that. Richarlison had a chance when Solanke was injured, got injured. He's been let down by key players in that squad that's made this so hard, and I think fans are just so frustrated with it. But we, like I said at the beginning, Kev, we don't know who to blame. We want to blame someone, but we don't know who to blame. But all I do know is Ange has been let down this season. If it's been by the board, by only bringing in Dominic Solanke and like Archie Gray. Archie Gray would have got a look in this year, Kev, if it wasn't for the injuries, yeah? He would have got here and there minutes.
And Bergvall.
Bergvall as well. But in January, we didn't go out and do any business. Like, he got let down by the board, but then the players in that squad have let him down. When all them injuries happened, the squad players coming in didn't do enough to get us out of that crunch, you know, and it just didn't happen. And I think they're coming back, and you can see straight away he's gone back to the team that he feels that he can trust.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, some of them players that came in, wasn't good enough. But then people's argument will be them replacements or them players that we've got. Why are they still at the club? Why was Timo Werner asked to stay on for another year? Was it for the cheap side of it, of not having to go out and buy someone else where you can just get a player on loan? I mean, some of these players really have been inconsistent, and some of them senior players, like Bentancur, Maddison, I think they've all dropped off at some point in this season, and no one's really stayed consistent. And hard because a lot of them have been out injured, but the ones that haven't, you know, the consistency just hasn't been there. And your players like Timo Werner, Son, Basuma, Bentancur, Porro, them sort of players just haven't really stuck to their guns in trying to stake a place in the side, and kind of just let us down in for a shitty period. And when we had them players out, we really had a lot of fixtures at that point as well. It was the Christmas part of it and fucking Europe and everything else, and it couldn't have happened at a shittier time, all that. But yeah, I think he was expecting some of them players to really come in and show what they can do, and they didn't. And we ended up having to bring young players through, like Mikey Moore and the young lad who scored in the European game, obviously Scarlett as well, showing them how to do it. And I think a lot of these players have probably put a nail in their coffin this summer, especially if Ange stays, to show that they can't fight for it when the chips are down. So that's one good thing, I suppose, that's come out of it, is that there's certain players that need to go, and some players that can't even stay fit to give it a go as well, and they need to go. So yeah, listen, it's an absolute mess at the moment in terms of that situation. But yeah, listen, unity is fucking needed for Thursday, and if you are there, definitely get there early, have a fucking good beer. I mean, I'm off work that day, so I'll be on the piss from fucking about 3 or 4 o'clock. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's the only game you can look forward to now. That, and obviously the triple A to Frankfurt, if you're lucky enough to go. I mean, they're your two games you're really looking forward to now. And if we get through them, then obviously we've got more to look forward to. If we don't, then fuck me, it's really going to be a long fucking last 4 weeks of the season. It's going to be horrendous to be down. The atmosphere is going to be even worse down there. So yeah, just a quick one as well. I just wanted to give a shout out to our sponsors, Join IT. You can find them at Join IT Limited for all your IT needs and computer repairs. And obviously Hotspur Heritage at Hotspur Heritage as well, who do really fantastic wall arts as well and printouts from all your famous players. And I'm sure if you give them a message, they'll be able to sort you one out, whatever one you need, whether it's players from the past, present, whatever it is. A really good guy there called Mitch who really knows his stuff. So yeah, we want to thank them for staying on this journey for us for the rest of the season. It's been really good to have them on board. Really good to meet them and meeting different people through certain sponsorships and everything else. It's been great. And talking about meeting people as well is Steve Perryman. I keep banging on about this Perryman item. We've been banging on about it with the socials. It is a massive, massive thing for us from where we've come from in here and starting this in lockdown and doing it through phones, obviously, because we couldn't go out the fucking house and basically just doing it because we were bored and we wanted, obviously, there was no games going on at the point and we wanted to keep our Tottenham ticker going. So we thought we'd just phone up once a week and just have a big chat about Spurs and record it. And that was like five years ago now. So we've come a long way in terms of being well known and having thousands of listeners on our audio platforms, thousands of views on your Instagrams and your TikToks and your YouTubes and everything else. So we've really hit a different level. But we've hit a massive next level when you're getting people like Steve Perryman on, who was lucky enough to have on the podcast last week. Lee had a fantastic interview with him, and I think Lee's still starstruck to the point that he now has WhatsApp conversations with Steve Perryman, and Steve Perryman sends him jokes and stuff like that. And he sent a couple in this morning to us, and it's quite mad how this is a player that he was just a bit before our time. But if you know your Tottenham and you know your history, Steve Perryman was one of the greatest. And to have him in a WhatsApp conversation and have him to talk to and have the chance to meet him on the 28th of April for an audience with Steve Perryman presented by us is really, really fucking great. And we are so looking forward to it. I know Steve Perryman's looking forward to it. The guys at Madden's Bar who are hosting the event are looking forward to it as well. And yeah, we will keep pumping out on the socials. But yeah, listen, if you're in the area that day, if you're down that way in East Finchley Road N2, if you're down there and you're Spurs and you're listening to this, come down there. There ain't many tickets left. We've probably sold about 90% now, but there's still some left. So it ain't a massive venue. So, it's quite small. It's quite intimate. So it's not one of the things where you'll be sitting at the back trying to put your hand up to get your question answered. You'll be like in like a ringside seat of him and obviously meeting Steve, hearing his stories. And we spoke to Steve prior to this night, and he's great. And what I've heard of people that have been to his audience before, he pulls no punches and tells you everything how it is. And that's what makes him great. And that's what makes him Mr. Tottenham. He is. So yeah, listen, we'll put out the poster again. Like I said, there's a QR code on the front. It's on all our socials as well. So wherever you listen to us or watching us on YouTube, whatever it is, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, get messaging, get scanning and join us for that night. And yeah, really looking forward to it, Matt. How you feeling about it? I mean, Steve Perryman, the best of the best, right?
Mate, 100%. It's like you say, just going talking on here, talking to each other, and then next thing you know, you're going to be sitting literally hand in hand with Steve Perryman. You're going to be like, what? What's happened? But look, mate, it's going to be an unbelievable night. And yeah, anyone on here, especially go and look at Hotspur Heritage. If you are coming, jump on that site there and get some gear and come and get it signed by big man Steve. Because Hotspur Heritage have got some amazing stuff on there as well too. So if you get some stuff there and you're there on the night, Steve Perryman will sign some stuff for you, man.
Yeah, I've met a few Spurs players in my time, but this will be the biggest Spurs player. I mean, I was lucky enough to bump into Pat Jennings a few years ago, and that was quite big. And that was just for a quick photo. And yeah, it stayed with me for a while, just shaking hands with Pat Jennings. But for this one here to be sitting next to Steve Perryman, a guy who my old man used to bang on about, and obviously the success he had at the club and the trophies, and obviously the record appearance holder. And he's still down there now. He does his legend tours in the stadium, but he's also gets on there at half time with Coity at half time. And listen, he's massive, and I can't wait. I'm so excited, like a little kid, looking forward to this. And yeah, it'd be good if you could join us. I mean, we've sold a lot of tickets anyway, but if you are a fan of the pod or you're a fan of Steve Perryman or whatever it is, or it's just Spurs in general, come down, have a few beers. The bar will be open late. We'll have a few beers. I know it's a Monday night, But when you're meeting Steve Perrin, it doesn't matter what night it is. Do you know what I mean? It's such a big night. So yeah, so get down there for that for us, and yeah, so we'll be back. Who we got? Fucking hell. So what about league fixtures? Who we got after Frankfurt? Wolves.
Frankfurt Wolves.
Wolves. I think TJ is going to Wolves, and so is Cav. So they'll be back on next week, and they'll be able to give you a take on the Wolves game. Obviously, we'll speak about the Frankfurt game as well, how we got on, and how the performance was and whatnot, and the reaction to it. So yeah, listen, it's a big week for us coming up. It's the biggest game of the season, Thursday, without a doubt. So yeah, like I said, get behind the Spurs, and yeah, and that'll be it. I think we'll see you all next week. So yeah, listen, thanks from me, thanks from Matt, thanks for joining us. That's a whole hour of us chatting absolute bollocks and telling you how shit it is at the moment at our club. But get down there Thursday if you can. I think there's still tickets about as well, so get down there Thursday and get down there and support your Spurs, because this club's going to fucking need your support. And if you say you love Tottenham and you're proper Tottenham, then get down there Thursday and get fucking one leg into the semi-final. It is really, really important. So yeah, thanks very much from me, from Matt. This has been the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans Podcast. Up the Spurs.